This is you. You are sitting in the driver's seat of a rain-slicked police cruiser on a dead, silent street at 2 a.m. The wipers drag slowly across the windshield, smearing the wet blur of red and blue neon from the pawn shop sign above you. Your radio crackles. Your partner's voice is not on it, because your partner is lying face down on the asphalt, 12 feet in front of your car, bleeding through his vest. And you know he is bleeding because you told them he was coming. You don't open the door. You don't call for backup. You reach down, slowly, and you pull the black duffel bag from beneath the passenger seat. You place it on your lap. You feel its weight. $80,000 in banded cash, still warm from the triad counting room. And you sit there, listening to the rain tap the roof of the cruiser, while a good man dies in front of you. This is not where it ends. This is where you have to go back to the beginning to understand exactly how you got here. You were born in a 2-room apartment above a laundromat in a part of the city where nobody expects anything from you. Your father worked double shifts at a plastics factory until his back gave out. Your mother cleaned office buildings at night. They were not failures. They were just slow crushed by a system that does not stop moving for anybody. You watched them get smaller every year, more tired, more quiet, and you told yourself from the time you were 12 years old that you were going to be different. Your sister, May, was born with a degenerative spinal condition. By the time she was 8, she needed a motorized chair and a series of surgeries that the family's insurance policy covered almost nothing of. Your father borrowed, your mother borrowed, and when the borrowing ran out, they simply went without. May never complained, not once. She was smarter than all of you, and she knew it, and she would sit in that chair with a book on her lap and smile at you like the world was not falling apart around her. You joined the police academy at 22, not because you loved authority, because it was a paycheck with a pension, and because, if you wore the badge long enough, maybe the city's insurance plan would help carry some of May's costs. That was the entire calculation. That was all of it. Your first 3 years on the force, you were clean. Genuinely, completely clean. You walk a beat in the garment district. You know every shopkeeper by name. You break up fights. You file reports. You sit through mandatory sensitivity training in a plastic chair eating vending machine crackers. You are not celebrated. You are not noticed. You are a number on a shift schedule. Your sergeant, a red-faced veteran named Kowalski, tells you twice in your first year that you have good instincts, and then never says anything about you again. The pay is modest. After taxes, rent, and the $200 a month you send home to your parents for May's medication costs, you are surviving on gas station coffee and leftover takeout. This is fine. You told yourself it would be fine. Then the hospital calls. May's condition has progressed faster than the doctors projected. She needs a second major spinal surgery within the next 8 months, or she will lose function in her lower body permanently. The cost is $140,000. Your family's insurance will cover $31,000 of it. The hospital offers a payment plan that is mathematically impossible for your family to honor. You do not sleep for 4 days. You sit at your kitchen table and you run the numbers over and over, and they never change. A man named Philip Tsang finds you on a Tuesday afternoon. He is not menacing. He does not look like what he is. He's wearing a charcoal blazer and clean white sneakers, and he buys you a coffee at the diner 2 blocks from the precinct where cops eat lunch. He knows your name. He knows your sister's name. He knows the hospital's name. He knows the surgeon's quote. He places a white envelope on the table between the sugar dispenser and your coffee cup, and he says, very quietly, "Nobody has to know anything, and your sister gets to walk." The envelope contains $15,000 in cash. All he wants, he says, is a single piece of information. He wants to know if the narcotics unit has opened a file on a restaurant supply company in Chinatown called Golden Harbor Provisions. That is all. One question. You push the envelope back across the table. You tell him to stay away from you. You leave the diner. You go home, You sit in your apartment. You look at the bill for May's surgery on your counter. You pick up your phone. You put it down. You pick it up again, and at 11:47 that night, you call the number on the card he slipped under the envelope before you pushed it away. The answer to Philip Tsang's question is no. No active file on Golden Harbor provisions. A week later, $15,000 appears in a savings account your mother doesn't know she has. You tell yourself this is a one-time arrangement. People lie to themselves with enormous precision when they need to. You are no different. The second request comes 6 weeks later. This time, Tsang wants to know the date and location of a scheduled vice raid on a gambling room above a dry cleaning operation in the East Side. You know the date. You know the location. You were on the briefing. You provide it. 3 days later, $22,000. The third request is larger. The fourth involves the name of a confidential informant. The fifth, you don't let yourself think about the fifth. By the end of your first year in business with Philip Tsang in the organization he represents, the 14K Triad's Eastern chapter, May has had her surgery. She is recovering. She is going to walk. She sends you a voice message from the rehab facility and she is laughing, actually laughing. And you sit in your car in the precinct parking lot listening to it on repeat, and you feel two completely incompatible things at the same time. Love, and the beginning of something colder, darker, and impossible to name. You rise through the ranks. Your clearance rates are strong. You're aggressive on the cases Tsang doesn't need you to throw. You make genuine arrests, real ones, and this is the genius of the arrangement, although you would never call it genius. You are too valuable on the outside to be reckless. Tsang understands this. He uses you like a precision instrument, not a blunt one. You make detective at 31, organized crime division at 34. Your commanding officer, a woman named Deputy Inspector Rojas, tells the entire unit at your transfer briefing that you are exactly the kind of officer this division was built around. You shake her hand firmly. You look her in the eyes. You feel nothing. Inside the organized crime division, your value to the triads multiplies tenfold. You now receive operation briefings. You attend interagency task force meetings. You have access to federal wiretap applications before the targets know they're being listened to. You become, in Tsang's words during one of your monthly sit-downs in the back room of a tea house in Chinatown, the most important man in the building. The money has become serious. You have a 3-bedroom apartment downtown now. Your parents' rent is paid. May finished her degree and got a job at a biotech firm in the suburbs. Your family believes you are simply a very careful saver with a modest investment portfolio. None of them ask hard questions. You are grateful for this. You are 40 years old when they promote you to police captain. Your precinct covers 6 square miles that include the heart of the Triad's distribution territory. You now directly supervise the same officers who, on your guidance, will conveniently arrive 4 minutes late to addresses that matter. You approve shift schedules. You sign off on patrol routes. You are the invisible architecture of the Triad's street safety net, and you are never more unreachable. Philip Tsang throws you a private dinner at a restaurant that doesn't have a sign outside. You drink $2,000 bottles of baijiu. He calls you brother. You go home that night and look at yourself in the bathroom mirror for a long time. You're thinking about your partner, the one who died in front of your cruiser 9 years ago. His name was Eddie Carrasco. He had a son named Tommy who was 7 years old when Eddie bled out on that asphalt. You have looked Tommy Carrasco up twice on department records over the years. He's 17 now, honor roll, wants to be a firefighter. You look at yourself in the mirror, then you turn the light off and go to bed. The investigation is called Operation Jade Ceiling. It is a federal anti-corruption sweep, joint FBI and DOJ, specifically targeting compromised law enforcement in organized crime units across 3 cities. You learned about it from a document you are not supposed to see, in a meeting you were not supposed to be in. And for the first time in 12 years, something cold and biological moves through your chest. You contact Tsang immediately. He listens. He says nothing for a long time. Then he says, "We will handle this." You believe him because you have to. You were arrested on a Wednesday morning, not at home, at a breakfast meeting with Deputy Inspector Rojas, 2 FBI agents, and a federal prosecutor. They are polite about it. They use your title once, just once, and then they stop. The documents they place on the table in front of you are thorough. Transaction records, encrypted message logs, testimony from 3 Triad middle-level members who have already flipped, a surveillance photograph of you and Philip Tsang.
You are sentenced to 18 years in a maximum security federal facility. The facility houses, among its general population, at least 47 individuals whose arrests and convictions trace back, in some way, to your years as a detective and captain. Some of them know your face, most of them know your name, all of them know what you were. On your first morning, walking the yard in the gray early light, you become aware of the specific way the silence around you works, the way men move slightly to give you space, not out of respect. Out of the particular, patient kind of contempt that builds slowly in a place with no exit, you find a bench in the far corner of the yard. You sit, you look at the wire above the wall. And you think about a rain-slicked street, and a duffel bag, and a man bleeding on asphalt who trusted you completely. You think about May, laughing in that voice message from the rehab facility. How she is still laughing somewhere in the suburbs right now, in a life you built for her with both hands, and you sit with the question that has no clean answer. The one that will follow you through every one of the next 18 years. Was it worth it? You don't answer. You close your eyes. You let the yard noise fill in around you. And you stay very, very still.